New to Medical Device Sales Meetup in Tampa, Florida, September 7th. Come join us where you're going to be networking with other individuals looking to break into medical device sales, with reps that are already in medical device sales that have had success in medical device sales. And it's just a time for community. We have our current and past people from New to Medical Device Sales. They get to meet each other in person. We go over different things we're seeing in the industry, and it's a time for you all to network and meet other like-minded individuals. And this is our time where we make it family-like, like you're gonna see from past events that we've done. So come, mark your calendars, come learn more about medical device sales, how to stand out, how to break into an amazing industry, and how to be a top performer in medical device sales. If you have any questions, click the link below to find out more information. And I can't wait to see you in Tampa, Florida on September 7th.
Welcome back to First Year in Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and I'm coming to you today to bring some knowledge, hopefully, or make some laughs, or just give you something to listen to. We are coming to you guys today with a real good topic that I wanted to really get across to everyone, and it's relationships in medical device sales. And why I wanted to make today's episode is because a lot of times when I'm speaking with individuals, they a lot of times think that, their competitors or other people that are in medical device sales are hard competition. They shouldn't talk to them. They shouldn't be friendly. And what I actually wanted to talk to you about is the different relationships in medical device sales and really how they continue to form throughout your career. Why we're talking about this today is because literally just this morning, I was talking with a former colleague who was at Medtronic. They are absolutely amazing. They were a regional sales manager. They also went to another great large company, and now they're in the startup world. And now they're working for a medtech startup. And now we just got to have conversations because I've had experience in it. Now they're in the space, but also just being able to talk about our relationships of like what they're needing in their business and then what we're able to provide and all of that good stuff. And what it really made me think in that moment was how relationships in medical device sales continue to form. And so when I'm saying this to you guys is a lot of times when you see a competitor, for example, you think that these competitors are the worst human beings ever, or I see reps all the time that see other reps, and these other reps don't even have the similar product, or they're not even in the same space, so they're not even in competition, but these reps look at them like they're competition. And why that's just a horrible way to do business and a horrible way for you to run your territory in medical device sales is because there's so many reps that can be a resource to you. If you just make good relationships, talk with them, they might actually know somebody you're trying to get in touch with. They might know a hospital system that you need to go to. Like you can learn a lot by just talking to other human beings inside the space. But also, I had a great talk with another friend who's been in medical device sales about 13 years. And we were talking about when he was in the ortho space, they would sit there and there'd be 4 reps waiting for the doctor to decide who they were going to use. And, he always made the comment that there would be the one out of the 4 that would be like crossed arms, not wanting to talk to anybody, didn't make any friends with anybody because he looked at them as competition. Like they hated them. But then there were the other 3 that would just be sitting there talking to me like, hey, how are the kids? How's the wife? Like, how's life going? Like just checking in. Hey, what's your company doing? Is our company doing this? And what people miss a lot of times is, in 3 to 5 years, you may be with your company, but you may not be. And there's a good chance that the people you're talking to, and maybe even your competitors, you might be asking for a job, or they might be asking you for a job here in the next 1 to 5 years, right? And why I'm saying that is because what a lot of people miss is it's the relationships in medical device sales. It's what we talk about, never burning a bridge, always making sure when you guys leave or anything's going on is you're doing it the right way. You can't dictate how they're going to take it, but you can just control how you react and you can control how you leave. And so the reason I'm just saying that is if you ever do leave, I can't control how this person's going to talk about me, but I can just make sure that I left it on great terms on my thoughts and that I can move on with my life. If you ever have anything tough, that's how you have to think about the life and the situation is like, hey, I just have to do it on my terms. Again, I always make the joke about dating. It makes sense. Like, for example, if you're ever breaking up with somebody, like they're usually not the biggest fan of you breaking up with them, right? But you're going to see a lot about maturity in that moment about that human being. Because, for example, if they're immature, they'll probably scream at you, call you a bunch of names. They'll be really rude. They'll try to like wreck your stuff, whatever it is. But if you have a mature human being that actually knows themselves, they know their value, they'll be like, hey, totally understand. I wish this would have worked out. I really like you, but I'm hoping you the best. right? Like that's a mature way to look at it. So the reason I'm just saying that is no different than if you're leaving a company or you're talking to competitors or however it is. You can just control how you take it. You can't control how the other person takes it, right? But you always want to do it. You want to do things on the best of your ability to leave things on good terms. If you have competition, everybody who I knew was my competition, I knew they were competition. I knew like what they sold and the differences between us, but also going from a place of like what I've always told in med device sales when I came from personal training is I've always looked at abundance, right? Like, and what I mean by that is I knew as a personal trainer, I could not physically train every human being ever. And I knew even if I could, a lot of people wouldn't even like me because of how I train, my style of training, how I did things, right? And it's like, I only wanted to be with the people that were the best fit for us and we were the best fit for them, right? No different than med device sales. Everyone thinks in med device sales, like your competition, like, oh, they shouldn't have anybody or there shouldn't be competition. Like, first off, just so you guys know, competition is healthy and you want that. It now allows you to sell your product and grow market share in your area. But you understand, like most of the time, you're not going to have 100% market share, right? And so the reason I'm just saying that is like, because if you meet your competitors, you talk to your competitors, like it was always me being like friendly with them. I'm not going to do anything bad to them. It's just also like, I always put myself on like, hey, now we're at the starting line together. Let's see who the best sales rep is or who sells the best product and all that good stuff, right? That's how I looked at it. The reason I'm telling you that is that's like what this rep was talking about in the ortho world. He's like, 2 years in, somebody lost their job and now they're calling us and saying, hey man, my organization just made some changes, lost my position. Do you guys have anything going on? And I can't tell you how many times by just knowing someone else in this industry that I've talked to people that they're like, oh my gosh, one of my competitors or somebody I met through my current role let me know about a future role or a role that I now could go after when I lost my job. We've even had people for us, I'm friends with them. They call me. They're like, hey, dude, I just lost my job. Do you know of anyone? And literally within 5 minutes, I had them on a call with another regional manager because of just relationships they've made in that time. And so it goes back to what I'm doing today and why I had that conversation is like I told you guys, 2 weeks ago, I was in San Diego meeting with the CEO. Well, that was just because of a relationship I made at my last company. And I was able to foster that relationship. And now in my new ventures, like we're there, right? Like it's just about being able to create relationships and build those relationships. And I'll just sit here and tell you the people who are like, no, screw everybody else. It's only me. I'm the only thing that's going forward. It's my job. And like any other competition, I'm going to like screw them over. I'm going to get rid of them. Like that's not going to lead to long-term success in the career. Right? Because when I'll sit here and tell you, you might do okay in your job, in your market, what you're in, but that's where it's like, I was having a conversation with a friend of like, us med device sales reps are a whole. And this guy was talking about like, where he's at, it's one of the top real estate areas. And every year they do a conference where all the top real estate people come together in the room to learn. Now, here's the thing. Once they leave, they're all like competition to each other again and now trying to be the top real estate people. But when they come into that room, egos go aside and now they're all trying to learn because they're trying to be the best in the industry together and knowing that they're all part of the same industry. Right? Because if you think about this, it's like, you have software sales is theirs, dentals is theirs, pharmaceuticals is there. Everyone in med device sales is all part of med device sales. But we don't look at it like that. We look at it as a Medtronic, a J&J, a Stryker, an Intuitive, Smith & Nephew, Zimmer. And now we point all this hatred towards the other companies when it's like, no, we're all in the same game and we actually need the other competitors for the game to keep playing. I just wanted to state that today, as you guys are in med device sales, your relationships are going to matter, not just today, but in the future of your career. And that's what people miss is because even from my first job with Medtronic, my first career with med device sales and being at a great company, I'm talking to human beings today from my very first position where I met them in the first couple of weeks of my job. And that's what people miss is it's the long term. What I watch a lot of human beings do is you hear burnout. Right? Burnout. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out because I worked all these hours and all this stuff. And why that happens is because people don't, understand there's abundance and you can take the day off and you can have breaks and all the good stuff. And if you're really good, you'll know what you're doing. But after that, here's where it comes. And here's the kicker for everyone. What most people do is they get burnt out, then they try to switch all together. For example, I knew a trauma rep. He was making north of $500,000 a year. Absolutely crushed it. had a massive house, had boats, had cars, had all the stuff. But he got so burnt out from the industry, he actually left med device sales as a whole. But what my conversation for you all is if that same rep actually just changed divisions, worked less, and still made about the same money because of all the years of experiences, relationships, and people he knew inside the industry, he could have probably made way more and worked way less. But what you'll watch a lot of people do is they're like, I grinded, I did this, it's so hard. But then they just jump all together and then they leave all their relationships, all the efforts that they've been working on to go start something brand new. And now instead of starting, like for example, if you stayed in the same industry, just went to a new division, you're not starting at zero. You might be starting at like 50 or 75, but you ain't starting at zero compared to what people will do is they'll go to brand new industries and then they go start at zero again. And then you want to know, like I've talked to some very wealthy people and I'll just make your guys' life easy. You want to know the most successful people who I meet, what they say? I found one thing and I stuck with it and I became the absolute expert in that area. And from there, that's when they got really good and they started making all their money compared to, and I say this because I learned this in personal training. I literally had one guy I trained and they were brothers. And the one guy is literally, I think he has like now 5 businesses that all play off each other. But like when I tell you, he makes north of $50+ million. He made a lot of money. And then he told me that his brother who's, in his 40s, who's literally couch surfing and trying to make it in. And I'll tell you why. It's because the brother who is making millions of dollars said he found one thing, he stuck to it, and he's done the same thing for the last 20 years. But then he just built other businesses on top of that stuff. Compared to the brother who's couch surfing, has tried 7 different careers. And now he started over every single time. So the thing I want you guys to hear is that's not me saying don't go try new things and don't go to a new career if you absolutely hate what you're doing. And that's not me saying this. What I want you guys to hear is why the relationships matter is because if you do quote unquote get burnout at a certain thing, you've probably made enough relationships and have those connections of people inside the industry. You might not have to stay in the same division, but you could stay in the same industry and actually leverage those to go make more money and probably have a good work-life balance. Compared to what people don't think about is that. And then they're like, well, I just got to quit altogether. Or now I have to go to a whole different, industry to go through it. Or it's still sales, but now it's in this opportunity of sales and not what I'm used to, right? And they look for that new challenge, but then they take a huge cut. And so that's why I just want to continue to provide you guys value in your life and in your career is hopefully you understand the value of the relationships. It's like your competition is competition. You should look at them as competition. I'm not saying that, but also in the same respect, it's like, don't be a jerk because guess what? What you guys don't understand is there's a good chance in 1, 3, 5, 7 years, you're calling that person to see if they know of anybody, know of anything. And you don't know where they can lead because again, I've watched this happen where that person's your competition and now they become your team member, or they're your competition and now they worked at a company you wish you worked at. And if you were a jerk to them while you did that, they ain't ever going to help you. But if you had a good relationship, you might be like, hey man, I'm actually in this area. I was looking to go here in these suggestions and they can actually help you. So I'm just wanting to put out there, never burn bridges. Relationships matter because you never know where you're going in this career and where it can help. And I'm sitting here telling you guys why our company is continuing to grow and do everything is because of the relationships I built inside the industry and I kept good relationships with that continue to grow. And it's just the domino effect. If you try to screw everybody, try to be mean, try to be rude, try to be alpha, whatever it is, it usually doesn't play out well in the end. Right? And the last thing I say on that is because some people will be like, no, it does. I know stuff. Like, I just want this to be said is like, success is defined in a lot of different ways. And I think you guys have your own versions of success. But I'll just sit here and tell you, if you guys think just money is success, you're wrong. If you think power is just success, you're wrong. Because I know a lot of people who have that or both, and they're still not happy. They're not at peace. So I would just sit here and tell you, you need to define what's true success for you, true happiness for you. And for me, the biggest thing is why I love doing what we do every single day is just being able to help people, help improve people, help people get to the level that they want to get to and live the life that they want to live. That's what I define as success, and that's why I love what I do every single day. And I've been able to be in this amazing industry and we're still growing in it and we're having a lot of fun while we do it. But I'll just sit here and tell you that's because it's never just been about me. It's people who help us, people who've been able to have relationships with that continue to grow in that professional manner, that continue want to just see other people get better. And like the last thing I'll say to that is, it's fun for me now to see. We just got one of our boys, Seth. Shout out to you, my man. Congratulations. Of one of the first human beings I helped break into medical device sales. You can go back and watch his podcast. And under 3 or 4 years, he's now gone from breaking into med device sales. Now he's a regional sales manager in med device sales of the whole East. That's freaking cool. And what I want you guys to hear is 3, 4 years ago, he wasn't even in the industry. Now he's crushed it so well at these massive med device companies that he's now at a startup and he's being a whole Eastern regional manager. Like, it's going to continue to grow, and you don't think that relationship's not going to continue to grow. And, pretty soon he's going to be looking to hire people, and they need human beings. And it's like, you guys just have to continue to play the long game and just treat people right. And that's the encouragement I just wanted to get out there today. Doesn't matter if it's your competition, it's people you're going up against, whatever it is. Just make sure you treat other people right, and make sure you can lay your head on the pillow at night knowing you did everything well. And if you didn't, own up to it. Because I will sit here and tell you, as I continue to just live this life, it's really hard to find really good human beings that actually care about you, that actually want to make a difference. But also, don't get so greedy. Don't go back on their word. Don't do things. It's hard to find loyal human beings. And that's why I'm really excited about what we do and the events we host and the people we know, is because I like to think we've done a really good job of having a lot of great human beings all come together that all have a common goal of really helping a lot of people and also living their dream life. So I hope you got a lot of value from today. If you guys are wanting to come to Florida, we are going to be in Tampa September 7th. You guys can click the link to just learn more about the program that we have. And then also, you guys, if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll be able to see at Jacob McLaughlin me posting about the meetup, and you guys can go and register that if you're not a member of ours. And so I would love to see you guys in Tampa. Again, it's not only for people who are in medical device sales or trying to break into med device sales. We have people that are actually in med device sales coming to learn. And it's just a time for connection, community. And we also do some fun events, but I also tell you guys what I'm seeing. I bring it up to like a live Q&A just to answer all you guys' questions, because we want you guys to get as much value as you can. I love meeting you all in person. And I just want you to know I'm really excited about it. But if you can just share this to somebody you feel like it would be helpful, and mean the world to me. If you can press that like and subscribe, it helps us grow the channel. And I just want you all to know from the bottom of my heart, I am so thankful for each and every one of you, because without you guys, I wouldn't be here. And again, just watching people break in every single week is the absolute best. Literally right after this podcast, our next week podcast for New to Medical Device Sales, we're going to be recording with Luis, who just got here, and we just helped him break in at over $170,000 as a full line rep with one of the top med device companies in the world, and he had no previous experience. And so it allows us to continue to make a difference in people's lives. And if you are somebody who is wanting to break into med device sales, or you are in med device sales, but you're wanting to maybe leave that associate sales rep role or get to a company that can give you, instead of making 80 or 50 or 75K as an associate or even a full line rep, getting to those positions that are 150, 180, 200, we can help you with that. So click the link below and you can be able to fill out information. We can help you with that as well. But just want you all to know, don't need $1 from you. Don't want $1 from you. Just want you guys to know, I want you to continue to keep living your dream. Hopefully these free podcasts and YouTube are as helpful as they can be. And just want you to know, I want you to keep crushing life. I hope you go hit quota. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.